Hey everyone, welcome back to the TVI podcast. You're here with your host Shannon, and I've got two awesome guests back on. You can see them if you're on YouTube. I have two IFBB Pros. We've got Dean and Jasmine back on the pod. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Good, thanks for having us on.
Thanks for coming back on. Everybody knows how busy you two are, so I really appreciate your time. Heaps of requests for you though, so this will just shut everybody up and just cover a couple of questions and all of those things all at once. So we'll go through it all together. I don't even know where to start with your year. Your year's been fucking crazy, so we're just going to start at the beginning and just work our way through the whole thing. But just quickly, first off, I just want to know how you guys are feeling. Are you guys okay? Are you sort of more chill now that the season's over? Like, are you guys doing all right mentally? Like, are you guys okay?
Yeah, no, everything's going good. Obviously, being back into normal routine out of prep for me has been good, but we've just kind of filled in that spare time with just heaps of client stuff now. So it's just, we're just really focusing on the business, and it's just been hectic, which has been good. Like, we love it. We love being busy. So it kind of hasn't really died off for us at all. It's just kind of, if not gotten busier. So yeah, we're doing good though. We're doing good.
Is it kind of good though? Because like after what you've been through this year, Jazz, like you both have been through, is it kind of nice to not have that feeling of like no goal? Like you've got your clients to keep you occupied, like there's things to keep you kind of busy,
Yeah, like for me, like there's still a lot of kind of goals that I've got in my head with obviously where I want to go with competing. So I've still got that driving me, but then I've just also got the client stuff and business and everything that's kind of going into that.
Yeah, well. I think there's plenty of goals to still go around at the moment. Like I'm chasing chasing higher body weight and that sort of thing in my off season. So that combined with coaching and everything else that's going on, there's plenty to think about and focus on. So
yeah. Are you guys in that time of your life where you're like, we're gonna grind, like we're just gonna fucking go hard and work hard and be athletes?
Hard out.
Yeah, nice.
Do what we need to do.
Yeah. And sometimes you just have to give it like everything for a couple of years. Everyone's like burn out, but you're like, no, I've got shit to do. It's like that's what you guys are doing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You got to hustle sometimes. You just got to put in the work, and eventually you have that time to kind of chill out a little bit. But we're both quite really like just working hard and having stuff on the go all the time. So it works out good for us.
You're not going for average, so I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Never.
But okay, let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back to the start of the year. Like a lot's happened, hey. So let's go through your USA Pro Shows tour, all of that. On the way to the Pro Show tour, you got engaged. Is that right? Timing wise?
Yeah,
okay.
It was the day before. It was the day before we left.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. So we'll start there. And Dean, I'm going to ask you all about it because I want to get something out of you today, Dean. So I want to know all about it. Was it planned? Like, tell me about it. Was it planned? You like move?
Yeah, no, it was planned. Yeah, I wanted to do it before we went over. Obviously, trying to take like a ring over was kind of going to be a little bit difficult if she saw it and that sort of thing. I was like, yeah, could be fine. Maybe she might see it, so it'd be a giveaway. So I just decided to kind of do it here before we left, and leave on a good note, leave the country on a good note as well, and head over. Yeah, so started it really well.
Yeah. And it was all worked out really good. No one can picture you getting down and getting on your knee and like getting all emotional, Dean. Like I can't even picture it. I wish I was.
I was holding onto the dog with one hand, and then I was down on the knee and trying to do it.
He actually did it. I was surprised.
So no, I did, but no, it was cool.
Yeah. And did you know, Jazz? Did you have an inkling?
Like I'd been kind of pushing like little ideas here and there, like, oh, this ring's really nice, and sending him through stuff on WhatsApp and going, oh, this is a nice one. So I've been pushing it down here for a while, but I wasn't expecting it to happen like at the time that it did. I kind of thought, oh, maybe when we're over there, he might do it, but definitely not expecting it when it kind of happened. So it was really cool. It took me by surprise. I was literally like, because it was at a lake, and I was literally like in the middle of taking a story for Instagram. And he was like, oh, let's just walk down this like dock part for a little bit. I was like, oh, yeah, sweet, cool. And then next thing, it all happens. I was like, what the hell? I wasn't expecting this.
And did he do good on the ring? Can you show us the ring?
It's perfect.
Oh, I love it. Nice, Dean. It's got some taste.
Literally like perfect.
He took all those hints and then ran with it.
Exactly. I had the hints, so if I stuffed it up, that would have been pretty bad. But
it couldn't really go wrong.
Yeah.
Nah, she made it as easy as possible for you, man. I love it. And so is there any I've got to ask, is there any wedding plans, or is it like there's a bit much going on at the moment? Or do you have a year in the future that you've got like a mind on?
We haven't really set anything out yet. Like, we've been so focused on obviously competing and what's next for competing, but we don't want to wait too long. So I'd say hopefully within the next like couple of years max, we can kind of actually get it all done.
Yeah. I mean, we had people asking a few weeks after, and it was like, we've only just got to the States, and it's the last thing on our mind. It's when's the wedding? And it's like, I haven't even thought about it. Like,
wanted to make sure she said yes first, and then
like I ticked that box, and then now,
yeah.
So,
I know enough on,
but no, it won't be too far away.
Nice. Well, I'm sure we'll see it all. Oh God, you're going to be an amazing bride, Jazz. Holy crap! I can't wait to see some pics. Hope there's some pics of that. That's going to be cool. But that was a good way to set off your trip. And then you went over and you did 3 shows. One of them wasn't really planned. The first one, that you did with Ray. So we'll go through each show if that's all good, Jazz. Just tell us a little bit about each one, maybe. Like, so the first one was Tampa. What do you think about that show? Was it fun?
Yeah. So with Tampa, we literally, I think it was the week before the show. Was it the week?
It was
or 2 weeks.
2 weeks before we left that.
That we decided to just jump in and do it. We kind of just thought everything was going the way that it needed to. Like, I felt ready. So we were like, fuck it, let's just do it, And it was, we didn't know what the lineup was going to be like at the time, but it ended up being a stacked lineup. All 3 of those shows that I did were insane lineups. Like, all had multiple Olympians in it and top level kind of Olympians too. So it was a really good show, and I'm glad that we did it because it just kind of set the mark, right? Like, coming 4th in the first pro show was just kind of unreal for me, especially with who I was going up against. Like, you had Juju, Cass, Lisa, like, these are all top girls. So to kind of be in comparison to them the first time was just crazy. So it was a really, really cool show to do. It was ran really well as well. And it was just, really cool show to start with. And it kind of gave me a bit of time too to focus on the feedback that they gave me for Texas, because we had obviously, Texas was originally going to be the first show, and that was the show that I really wanted to kind of just ace and look really good at. So it was good having Tyler judge me at both Tampa and Texas, because I was able to work on his feedback and the other judges' feedback as well for the Texas show, which in hindsight definitely placed me better than what I could have done if I hadn't done Tampa, if that makes sense. Because we came in a little bit leaner and stuff for Texas. So overall, though, like with Tampa, the judges were pretty impressed with that look. They said it was a very polished look. They just wanted, obviously, me to not bend over as much in my back shot, which was frustrating for me because I've been working with the posing coach for a year leading up to that point, and it was never kind of picked up on. But that is what it is. It's fine. And then the other thing was just coming in just like a little bit leaner. So we did that for Texas, and the results kind of paid off for that. So yeah.
Good. What about Tampa for you, Dean? Was it cool for you as a coach and like viewing it and just being there as a, I don't know, just was it fun? Was it cool to watch?
No, it was definitely a different experience. Being backstage, that was the first time I'd been backstage at a full-on pro show and a big show as well. To for your first time, it's quite cool just to be around everyone and kind of get to go right behind the stage as well and stand there with all the athletes. And it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Texas was next, my favorite show out of all your shows. It's just my sneaky fave, babe. I don't know why. I just fucking love it.
There's something about that look, the show, everything was just fucking unreal. Like that was my favorite by far of the season. I think everyone already knows that because that's literally the only thing I post on Instagram is from that show. But it was just everything was just perfect, and everything just went exactly how it needed to go. And that show was like my favorite to do based on like production, how it was ran, just the vibe too. Like at Tampa, I'm not sure if it was just because it was our first experience overseas at a pro show. Like it was kind of, I don't really know the word to describe it, but it was the vibe at Tampa for like the chickens and stuff was just a little bit off. Like we weren't kind of used to that environment. So like going to Texas, it felt a little bit more kind of normal. I don't know how to describe it.
I think there's better hospitality over in Dallas, and like they talk about it all the time, and you're just more welcome in that area of the States. And we even felt that way in Mississippi. It was just just a better vibe. When you're new and you're fresh and you're kind of over in Florida, you kind of blend in a bit. But
they're all out today. Texas is just bodybuilding.
Yeah, and they just invite you in, and they're all real happy, good mood, and just want to include you in it. So it's quite cool.
But like with Texas, we brought a leaner package, so we came in tighter for Texas, and I'm actually kind of surprised with how well we tightened up compared to Tampa, which was literally only a week. And so, we came in leaner, worked on the posing, and Tyler was like out at the back after the show. He was like, it was literally between you and Cass for second place. And I was like, fuck, are you serious? Like, she is like top 5 Olympian. She's the Arnold Classic champ. And I was like, just to hear that was just crazy. It was mind blowing. It's like this little New Zealander that's come out of nowhere at 23. It was my birthday. Like, just to hear that feedback from the head judge was pretty unreal. So,
and he knows who you are now, like you're on his radar kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's just keep working on that feedback. But pretty much they just want me to just get a little bit more glute development and depth, and just come in tighter. So we're definitely going to be doing that next season. So
taking all these little things that you take them with you, and then level up, and it's not like pros just get up and win. It's like a lot of the time they are taking the stuff, and then each time look at that small fucking tube. It's crazy. And then the Tupelo Pro was the last one, was the Olympia qualification. So it's obviously got to be the favorite for that reason. But that was your third show. You wore the red bikini. You looked different again. It was awesome. What was that show like for you guys? Both.
It was cool. It was actually, it felt more, what's the word? Because the promoters were very like interactive with us and wanted to know what they can be doing better and if we were having a good time, and like they were very just keeping an eye on the athletes and being quite interactive with us, which was really cool. It was a lot bigger than what they were expecting, I think, because it was only the women's pro show on the Friday night. So there's 3 divisions, I think, but we ended up having over 20 wellness girls in that lineup, which I wasn't expecting. I don't think they were either. And so it was really cool. It was a really like another competitive lineup, Olympians in the mix in that as well. And to just kind of come out on top was just, it was so hard for me to believe. And I think like it took me ages for me to actually realize what kind of had happened. But like we brought a different look to that show, like bikini wise and like the hair, each show had a little bit of a different look. So I quite liked that as well. A lot of people were saying red was my color, but that purple, there's something about that purple that I really like. But no, so like with Tupelo, we brought just like a fuller package, eh?
A fuller package. We didn't pull down like really much at all for that week. Just kind of kept her pretty consistent. I pulled down a little bit and then just topped up into the show, and she just came in a bit fuller. She wasn't as dry, so
that's what they wanted on the day because she got it.
Be with it.
And how did you feel, Dean, when they called her up? Like, tell us, you had a little bit of emotion going. Like, how were you feeling? Were you fucking stoked?
I was yelling like and you could hear it in the live stream too apparently, but once she won, so that was pretty cool. It was a cool moment.
I want to actually mention that about the live stream. So I was at work that morning and I was like, fuck, I'll make it home in time. And I didn't. And I missed it. And you had put up, I've got I was like, fuck. So I've been emailing them. I'm still emailing them. Can you believe it? Trying to get their live stream replay. And they're just really bad with whoever's working in the department ain't good. So I'm trying to get a replay. But do you guys take the live stream? Did you buy the live stream and is there replays?
We didn't, but I think my mum does.
Nice.
I think mum does. But no, I just got some videos sent through of them like watching it on the phone. So terrible quality, but at least it's something.
It's something. And I'm really sorry that I missed that show. Like, I mean, I cover all the shows and that was the one fucking pro show I missed it. So I feel really bad and I'm sorry.
There's going to be plenty more. So.
I won't fucking miss it again. You know that I'll be there. We had a couple of questions from Instagram that we'll just throw in at random because they were just coming up at random as well. So someone asked, she's a pro for New Zealand, so I had to ask for it, but she wanted to know the general cost with competing overseas. So obviously it's a lot. We know that. Is there hidden things as well? Like those random things that you're like, oh fuck. Like, is there any of those things that just the girls might need to think about when they do go overseas?
Like it's it's always budget for more than what we're expecting. It is expensive. Being over there too, like even the cost of groceries and like everything is expensive. I think you're probably looking at for the both of us going over, but only me competing, you're probably looking at upwards of 20 grand in total. But that's for 3 shows and like 3 or 4 weeks of accommodation and rental cars and stuff. So it does add up, but it's the hidden costs. I don't know.
Ubers, if you're not going to hire a car, Ubers, and gyms, like getting into gyms and paying the one-off fees, because most of them are like 30 USD an entry. So if you take an Uber to the gym, you pay your fee and then you Uber back. And there's 2 of you, you can spend like 150 to 200 bucks New Zealand. And if you're doing that multiple times throughout the week, it's just tacking up, eh?
Yeah.
So that's stuff like that. So I'd recommend if you can hire a car to hire a car and just that we did that in Dallas and that was a bit cheaper. But then you've got to watch out for their tolls as well. So that stung us as well.
Yeah.
But you can get that added on to your rental car fee as well to save a little bit. So
But it's
the Ubers are pretty. It's worth it, and the Ubers are pretty pricey, especially in places like Vegas as well. They go up even more in Vegas. You got
to think about that.
I'd say like competing wise, always factor in the cost of the tan and whether or not you're going to do your own hair and makeup, because that adds up drastically. So if you're doing a show like 3 shows back to back, I think the tans were at least 200 New Zealand per show. I think it was. That's just the tans. I think it might have been 250. Yeah. And then so that's
photos if you want photos and videos on top, because they can be pricey. So
and then makeup and hair is usually like 500 New Zealand if you're getting it done per show. I did my makeup myself. I got my hair done at a salon, but if you're going through like the show who they're promoting to do the hair and makeup, you're looking at probably like $500 for makeup plus 2 to 250 for tan. So per show, like you got to factor that in as well. And then the bikini and shoes and hair, the jewelry, like there's a lot.
There's lots of savings you can make that way if you look around and try and look down different avenues. But if you just go that general straight path, you're going to pay a whole lot. So
and sponsorships, guys. Or maybe we should just have more pro shows in New Zealand. No, maybe we should just or Australian. Like, guys, get the memo. Home, you know.
Yeah, it'd make it so much easier if we had them in Australia as well, because it's just literally across the ditch. So it makes sense.
Pros every year, and I'm sure all of them are keen. Why not? We'll get there. So between Tupelo and Olympia, there was a bit of time there, like 5 or 6 weeks. Let me know about that. Like, what were you guys doing in that time?
So it was 8 weeks between the 2 shows. I think it was 8 weeks. So I'm not sure if you want to kind of touch on what we did with.
So the goal was to obviously come back, build on what she had, and make those improvements. Obviously, add a little bit more size. That went fine. We added a bit more size. And then obviously after that, pull down and be tighter and be kind of around that Texas condition for the Olympia. Didn't really go as planned, but it is what it is. But so that was the plan. But Jasmine's body was fighting us on the back end of that. And it's just one of those things. She'd been in prep for such a long time and the body was just not being responsive at all. So the end part didn't really go as well, and she pushed really hard at some points to try and get down, and then you'd make a little bit of progress and 2 steps back, and then it was kind of just like so we kind of brought the best package she could to the Olympia without doing anything really drastic to try and bring her in, which was unnecessary for her first year. So
sorry, you go. We just kind of looked at it as like it's the first competitive pro season that I've had. It's kind of to come to the Olympia with not my best package is probably the best year to do it, because no one really knows who I am. So if I fuck it up, I'll take it on the chin and just learn from that and figure out what went wrong so it doesn't happen for next season. It's better being it like that than if I'd been at the Olympia 3 times, everyone knew who I was, they've already got expectations on me. For me to kind of bring a package like that would be harder to deal with. So it was hard for me because I'm very competitive, and I knew that if I was on, like in Texas, it would have been a different story. I would have been up there in placing. So that was hard for me to deal with. But at the same time, you kind of just got to reflect back on the year and be like, well, actually, look what we achieved. Yeah, okay, not every show is going to go how we wanted it to go, and just deal with it and learn from it and move forward. That's literally it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you've done so good, Jasmine. Like, you got your pro card in figure, and then your pro debut was Olympia. Like, there's not much practice or fucking room or peaking. Like, you know?
Yeah.
You've done great considering the time you've had.
Yeah. And it's like my second season competing in bodybuilding ever. So it's like my body's still new to all of this. So we're still learning it. And, you know, so we're very fresh, which is good. We got a lot of time by our side. So I think that kind of took the pressure off a little bit too, with not getting too caught up in how I looked and just being like, fuck it, doesn't matter. We've got so many more years ahead of me, like 10, 15 years if I really wanted to, left of competing. So, yeah.
Heaps of time. You can only get better, right? You're only going to be, you'll never go, you do that again, you'll do this again. So it's like, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Even before you went to the O, the NZIFBB season started. So we had already started kicked off, you know, because I think Olympia was like peak week for Waikato. It was like sort of that time. So there was already South Island, Auckland, TOC. You guys were at most of those shows, I think, not the South Island. No, you were. You were at all of them, weren't you?
Yeah.
Just not Palmy. We didn't make it to Palmy.
Oh, you didn't make Palmy. That's right.
I think we're in the season.
Yeah. So you had athletes competing this year too. Can you just tell me your first year for having athletes, and are you stoked with how the first 3 shows went with your clients?
I mean, I've prepped myself. I've prepped Jasmine, so it wasn't my first year. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how everyone performed. And yeah, it was a good result. I had like a few first timers. I had a couple of guys that are more experienced. And yeah, no, they were all pretty happy with their packages. Everyone brought their best that they had presented. So yeah, no, it was a pretty good result.
Everyone looked sick. South Island champs, Jazz, bikini overall winner, and the wellness girls started popping out. Like, geez, everyone's like, holy shit. Like, Jazz is off to the O and just bringing this, like, with their clients. Like, so what do you think of the girls? What do you think about the South Island champs win?
It was honestly really cool being able to prep alongside my girls as well, and all kind of be able to feed off each other, which I feel like we did that quite a bit. It was just good for me to be able to put that focus in on them as well, and kind of take away the focus of me feeling like shit, and just like be distracted with trying to, you know, bring them in their best. And, you know, we did that for all of my girls. Tajana looked her best. Shanae, she was a first time competitor this year, and she looked fucking unreal. Like, I'm so proud of her. You know, coming away with the South Island Bikini Champ title at her first show was just unreal, against a really good lineup too. Like, I was actually really impressed at that show. Again, across all the categories, I think, of the standard that they had down there. It was the first time we'd actually been to the South Island show, so we'll be back there. Definitely the vibe and just kind of the whole show we really enjoyed that one. So no, I think, we had a really good competitive season for both me and our clients this year. So we'll be back next year with more. So yeah, it's exciting.
It must have been nice to have Dean not prepping out of it. Like, I mean, he's the only one.
Yeah, we haven't crossed that bridge yet, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're all hanging out for that thing. Was it stressful doing that? Like, you know, the O and everything's going on, but you probably had a good structure, but was it pretty stressful with clients?
It was definitely, more challenging than, say, other years, for sure. I guess it just comes down to that structure and making sure that you've got time for everyone throughout the day, and then just, I was having athletes check in multiple times throughout the day, especially on peak week. So just getting consistent updates, but you can manage it. It's fine. Yeah.
And you guys are you guys are winners. Like, you guys just want to go and win and get shit done. So do you have that same mentality with your clients? You're like, I want these fucking people.
Well, we've got high expectations of our clients, and I think they know that. So
it's what we want, you know. And you've brought the level up, and everyone was kind of like, how are these people going to, there's a few new judges around. Like, I'm a new, like, we're all new, there's heaps of new judges that are out these last couple of years, and everyone's, you know, what are they going to turn out like? What are the athletes going to look like? You know, all of that. And you guys tightened it up. Like, you actually did. Like, the consensus is good fucking team to be on, essentially. So are you happy with that result? That it's like everything's pretty positive around you guys at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, going into it, you have your doubts and you have your worries that pop through your mind, but yeah, like you just see it through, be confident in your abilities, and yeah, it all turned out pretty solid. So that's good.
Yeah.
Ride that wave into next year, and yeah, put on another good show.
Yeah, and you got to trust your clients are going to follow through, because it's not all about your end; it's their end as well.
Yeah.
Start the season.
Yeah. No, it's good. It was a very successful season. So yeah.
Well done, guys. You did awesome. So we'll jump back to the O. We'll come back through everything. So the O was next. Then we'll go into Waikato and Nationals for this year, which was awesome. But just tell us, Jazz, what was the? We need to know what the vibe was like backstage. You know, we need to know all about it and what the girls were like. All of those things. Like we briefly talked at. Was it Waikato? And you told me about how you met Rayanne and just like a few of the girls. It was really cool to get that out of you and just like know. So just tell everybody else, like all the fangirls and stuff, what was it like backstage? Was it a bit like laser focus, or was it a bit chatty?
Yeah, like I think it might just be like, I think we're a bit different than the bikini girls, for example. Like the wellness girls are very locked in. There's not a lot of talking going on. Everyone's just kind of in their own circle, pretty kind of competitive vibes going through. Not bitchy vibes as such, but it's just very competitive and don't really go and talk to anyone because they're all just doing their own thing, which is good. Like I was in that mindset too. Like I didn't want to kind of go around and be talkative or anything. So it was a good environment if you like the competitiveness, which if you're at that level, you obviously do. So it was good. You know, backstage they had like this full blown gym set up as well, which we could use for pumping up. And it was kind of like separated between the men and the females too. So it was like you had your bit of privacy and like that sort of thing. But yeah, like it was funny when was it? When I was getting my first coat of tan, or first or second coat of tan.
I think it was the second.
Yeah. Like I was literally like getting tanned, drying myself off, and Franciele was next to me. She started talking to me, like we're standing there naked, just like talking to each other. Right, like so weird. It is so weird, but like it was really cool. Like I got to meet all the girls. Gisele, like she was absolutely lovely. Franciele, like everyone, Rayanne, like fully just like had a bit of a fangirl moment there when I got a photo. I wasn't going to ask her for one, but I was like, nah, like she's been my idol for years, so I kind of wanted that. But it's just, it's weird to think that I'm in amongst that bunch now as well. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. But no, it's good vibes for the most part.
I love that. You're like the best in the world, babe. You're in the top half of the best in the world. Like there's nowhere to go from there.
Yeah.
Like where else do you start another comp? Like what do you do?
Yeah.
Crazy. Does that feel good for you, or you just like, I'm happy I'm there, but I want to be number one? Like what is it for you?
Like it's a good feeling, but I know I could have done better. So it's like that's good though, because it's driving me even harder. Like I haven't felt this way towards training for so long. Like I've just got all that fire and just like drive back. And I've always loved training, but these last probably 4 to 6 weeks have just been, I'm ready to just grow and just improve and bring a way better package next year. I don't want to rush it. Like I want to make sure that when I get back on stage, it's a dramatically improved physique, while still keeping healthy and everything like that too. So I don't need to rush. I got heaps of time, but I just definitely want it to be an improved package when I step on stage next. So yeah.
No one's got any doubts about that for sure. And tell us what it was like. What was it like walking out? Is it like even maybe a little bit like, oh, it's not even as big as I thought, or is it like actually just fucking crazy? Like, what's that feeling when you're walking onto the Olympia stage?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like and I think if you were going in there with a really competitive mindset of trying to get top 10 or whatever, that would take it on a whole nother level again.
Pressure,
like for me, obviously I wasn't going into that mindset because I knew I wasn't my best. But I think if you're going into that with a top 10 mindset, it'll be like, it's pretty crazy. Just being on that stage and just kind of, you're waiting in line to go on stage and thinking, holy shit, like I'm actually here. Like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, it's very strange for me too, because it's relatively new as well. It's not like I've been working at this for years and years, competing back. Like, so it was a very unreal experience. It's the best way I can describe it. It's just crazy. Yeah.
you next time you get out there, because I reckon it's obviously going to be a hugely different story. So I can't wait until, like, I feel like that moment's just going to be here before we know it, and we're going to be like, this was that first time, the second time dominated. Like, I just reckon it's just going to happen so much before we know it. But Dean, how was it at Olympia for you? Was it cool for you? Did you meet some of the boys? Like, was it a good experience for yourself?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Like, yeah, obviously it's pumping because when she competed, it was in the expo at the pre-judging, so it's a busy place, but no, it was cool. Get to see all the who's who of the industry and all these people walking around and chat to a few people. But no, it was quite, there was a lot of energy coming from me when she walked out. So yeah, no, she couldn't hear me. Like, I was trying to scream, but I was trying to yell. But yeah, no, it was awesome. And then obviously we get to sit there and watch the other classes and that sort of thing. So that was quite interesting too, just to see the level and the standard that they're at, and see these big names come out and actually get to see what they look like in the flesh too. But yeah, I tried to see the classic, but that was on the Saturday, and like there was so many people surrounding the seated area that you couldn't even get to it. So it was like standing at the back of the crowd trying to look over. But that was all right. But I got to see heaps of other classes, so no, it was cool. Yeah, look forward to going back.
Yeah, round two. Still again.
Round two, yeah.
Who did you hang out with when Jazz was doing her thing? Like, were you sitting with someone else, or were you just on your own, just like focused on her?
Well, Frank and Kate were there for a bit when she was there. When she competed, so I hung out with them for a bit. Otherwise, just chilling by myself if I could find a seat. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of it was like, fuck, where's the seat? Scour around, find a good seat, sit down, and prop up. Otherwise, just trying to walk around and have a look as well at the expo. She's just chilling out the back. So
take it all in, eh? Take it all in.
Yeah. No, there's heaps of cool stuff going on.
Yeah. And Jazz, what happens? So pre-judging to finals. So you don't do finals unless you make top 10. Is it top 10? So what happens to you? Like, do they come and talk to you, or is it just like literally go home? Like, what do they do? What happens?
It was literally nothing. Like, I don't even know how the girls in the top 10 know that they're in the top 10, obviously, other than like if you're in those call outs. But if you're on the sides of those call outs, I don't actually know how they would know if they're in top 10 or not, because there's nothing. Like, you literally go off the stage, you get some photos done, and then that's it. Like, you're off. So whether or not they do contact those top 10 girls or round them up at the end of the show, because I did see Tyler out the back when I was leaving, so whether or not they had like a bit of a catch up with the girls. But yeah, it was very much just like, cool, you've competed, done your photo, that's it. So yeah. But I don't know what it's like for the top 10 girls.
You'll find out next year, babe. We'll ask you then, and we'll find out the whole thing. Speaking of Frank and Kate, how was it going through that experience with them? Because you probably didn't know that no one knew that was going to happen. Like, so what was that like, having two friends with you the whole time?
It was really cool. It was really cool just to be able to experience that with Kate. Obviously, we've been friends for a while now, and we've been training buddies. You know, we've been training kind of like once a fortnight things from probably this time last year. So we've kind of gone through prep together. So it was just cool to kind of be on that same level and experience it together and just be around each other. I know Dean really enjoyed having Frank around, and
put in some good sessions and try out a few different gyms, and no, it's cool.
Yeah. Good to have some people with you, like-minded people. And you and Kate placed pretty similarly as well, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think she definitely placed ahead of me. But like, it was around that same kind of yeah. So no, it was cool. Yeah, but I know we'll both be coming back next year better and placing higher. So we might be in the same. Yeah.
Can't wait to see what happens next. But when you came back from the O, so you come back a week later, you've got Waikato. I just think it was a really good move for you guys turning up to these shows a little bit later, because it would have been fucking crazy, babe. You guys would have been absolutely hounded by everyone. So it was nice that you just snuck in just to focus on your clients and just figure out what they're up to and look after them. Waikato was huge. What were your clients like at those two shows? Because that was awesome. There was TJ in there, like, battling it out, and there was like the guys that you've got on your team. And sick. Tell us about it. How was that?
My guys did really well. Obviously had Ruben, he was in doing his first show. Then I had another guy from our gym, a local guy, Josh, and Nilesh. I've been prepping Nilesh for a while as well. So no, they were pretty pumped. They kind of brought different looks to that show that they ended up bringing to nationals. but yeah, overall they're pretty happy with it. Had a good experience. Enjoyed the backstage, and
Yeah.
the day ran pretty smoothly. So no, it was good.
Yeah. Big
Yeah,
day.
I had
big
Tadania
one.
for Waikato's. It was her best look to this date, and I was really happy and proud of what she brought to the stage. Considering the kind of transformation we did make within just a year of working together. So she was happy with her results. She obviously wants to win. She's very competitive as well. But she was happy that she just brought the best look for her to date, and it was a good package for her too. So yeah, no, we're really happy with how that show went for our clients, and it was good just being there. I think we got back from America, it must have been on the Wednesday, and then the show was obviously the Saturday. So we were a bit tired.
Still a bit jet lagged,
yeah, but it was good to see everyone, and everyone was coming up and saying hi and congrats and stuff too. So it was good to just kind of mingle a little bit, and be there for our clients too. So yeah.
Good on you guys for doing that, because the energy levels would have been low and obviously tired, jet lag, all that shit. And it would have been easy just to be like, fuck it, we'll just do it over phone. Like,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, you got to be coaches that are on, and that's how you have such great clients, and that's how they turn out looking like that on show day, because that's when you want to be there, right? But a week later, nationals, massive show, huge show, pro cards for naturals and nationals. So there's pro cards all over the place. I want to ask you guys your thoughts on our pro winners. So maybe we'll start with you, Dean, if you want to start. Obviously, Chris, I asked you about Chris, and you were like, he's looking good, and then he won. That was cool, and we've got heaps of new pros in the boys. So tell us, what do you think about the boys?
It went good. Yeah, like Chris deserved that win. That was a pretty good win. Dom was really competitive with Chris. I think that was a really good look for Chris, and obviously he's just going to take a real big off season now and kind of grow and work his way into the 212. But he's recently joined Team Strong, so
we're
going to be having a bit of a catch up soon, and getting in a train with him, and doing some footage as well. So that'll be pretty cool. And then Isaac looked really good for men's physique. That was pretty cool, and he deserved that. So I think the pros, the guys that won the cards look really good.
A few battles.
And they've got a good future in it too.
Yeah, and some upsets as well. Well, not upsets, but like there was a lot of people that were like the favorite or whatever that didn't win their pro card, which I kind of think is kind of fun sometimes. So I was kind of here, whatever. He looks better, so this is the way it is. So, but that was kind of cool to see, and they'll all come back next year like fucking fired up and stuff. So, what about the girls?
So I think with the wellness girls, like it was Nicole and Hale. So there was a girl that Hale was competing against in the naturals. I think her name might have been Jane. Fucking unreal. I saw her and I was like, she reminds me of Elisa, who's obviously top in the pro league, like just like a smaller, newer kind of look. She had that same sort of structure, so I was actually really impressed by her. I've tried to find her on Instagram, but I can't find her at all. But I was really impressed by her. Hale, like bringing that package naturally, like that was really good. I think coming onto the pro league, because obviously she'll be in the mix with us now, like there's a little bit of work to do there, but I think she knows that, and it's just the thing, it's just time. Like I think she's still very fresh in the industry too, so give her a few more years and she'll be quite competitive on the pro league stage. And it's cool to see more cards being handed out, and just hopefully Mo kind of does a wellness pro show eventually in the next few years, because we've got quite a few wellness pros now in the industry in New Zealand. I think there's really only me, and Ray was obviously active this year, but the other girls, I don't think they've actually done anything with their cards yet. So maybe if he did bring a wellness show, all of us would get on stage, which would be really cool, just to kind of be able to share the stage with the rest of the New Zealanders. But Nicole too, like she's got a lot of potential. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what they both do with their cards and when they're thinking of competing next. And I'm really looking forward to kind of watching their journeys and seeing what they want to do next.
Crazy, because that's two of our big wellness girls, I suppose, taken off the amateur circuit now, and it's like, DJ, she's fucking coming up hot. So
I think we're still, it might sound a bit harsh, but we're still quite behind with what wellness actually truly is, which I hope the girls can kind of look at me and see me as like a good representation for the sport over here, because it is still behind compared to where it should be. It is a class where it is lower body dominance, but it's not fat, lower body dominance, it's muscle, and it takes time and it takes years. So I think I've seen quite a few bikini girls jump over into wellness this year, which I don't particularly agree with, to be honest. Just because I do have those high kind of standards, which I think is a good thing because you want to be fitting that criteria. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we kind of go over these next few years to see if the look changes for New Zealand. But now that we've got more New Zealand pros, it probably will. It probably will because
I think overall the standards come up this year in wellness, so it's moving in the right direction, which is a good thing. It's just needs a bit more time to kind of flourish and kind of, because you don't want people obviously coming in and having to win their cards and then take 5 years off to be able to be competitive on a pro stage or so because then it might not even happen. They might not get there, but
that's it.
It's moving in the right direction. So that's good.
There's like bikini girls that go pro that like Lily, they could just go probably like, soon and maybe go on a pro show, but wellness is a different story.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So it'll be interesting to see what everyone does next. And everyone agrees with you, Jay. Like you are the benchmark for New Zealand wellness and just wellness in fucking general, to be honest. But like that's what you need to look for, and that level of conditioning and that level of development, and like we just don't quite have it around, but it's coming and it's coming. It's getting
It's just time. Like we've only had it for what, 4 years now, I think, in New Zealand, so it's still very new. We'll start seeing it kind of change over these next few weeks pretty fast, I'd say, because like it definitely was better than last year's kind of nationals, I think. So no, it's exciting to watch.
And I think out of our pro card winners for wellness at the moment, obviously like Bedina's moved on, she's doing other things, and Ray's now retired, she's hung up her shoes. So I think there's really only like yourself, maybe Kathy. I think Kathy was a winner, and then there's
Paris.
She's the other one I think will actively get active.
Okay.
She's trying to get into that, so, and she looks great, so keep going, Paris, you got that. And she's one of those people that puts in the work, the time, and she's not in a rush. So that happens for her. Speaking of pros, what were your thoughts on, because you won your pro card in figure, Jazz, so what were your thoughts on both Shay and Jess Shandy? They both just recently competed. Did you see any of their comps, and what did you think about their physiques this year?
I saw a little bit of them. I didn't watch the live streams or anything, but Shay, for one, she fucking brought it. Like, she looks so good. To kind of have that physique naturally is just amazing. It just goes to show the kind of work ethic that she kind of puts into it, and genetics as well. But, I think they definitely brought a better package than last year, and that obviously showed in the placings as well. I kind of saw a little bit of the girl that won, but I didn't watch enough of it to see if I kind of agreed with her winning or not. But she looked incredible, Shay. She looked really good. And Jess too, like doing her pro debut for her first show, like she did really good. Hopefully she's going to come back next year and the next few years and keep competing, and just want to keep seeing more pros getting on that international stage. So it was actually really cool this year because we had a lot of pros competing internationally, and I think we all did pretty well too. So it's just kind of hopefully we can keep this rhythm going, and I feel
like next year's only going to be bigger. We need more of you boys on stage, Dean, don't we? We need
I think we'll see them coming, like the likes of myself, a few of the other boys. I think Denver's going to compete next year. So
it's a matter of time. And we did have Aaron from Men's Physique overseas, but he didn't want me to cover his show. So sometimes the boys are sneaky. The boys don't like to talk about things all the time. So it's like, we want to support you, but we get it. So it's all good. But there's a few more next year. Fingers crossed.
It's been a bit quiet on that front.
As the boys, man, but there's a lot more boys though, and they're all coming out. And I feel like there's heaps that have been working, and there's a few on my WOV team that are working hard and like want to come up, and it's just gonna be fun, It's gonna be cool to see what happens. I always like to see what too. We had an Instagram question for you, Jazz, from one of the girls who has recently switched from bikini to wellness. But she wanted to know about your switch from figure to wellness. Are you still happy with that decision? And do you have any regrets about sticking with figure? Or is that just like, nah, that wasn't for me?
Like, I love figure and I love the look, but wellness is definitely me. Like, I am just obsessed with the class. And like when I won that figure pro card, I think I remember talking about it last time, but like I wasn't even prepping for figure. It was literally a last minute decision. So even though I won my pro card in figure, it's not necessarily because that was the class I was training for. It's just that is what happened. But no, like, I love the division for figure, and especially seeing the girls overseas too in person. Like, it is the shape is just crazy. But I'm definitely happy with where I am, and I think this is the class kind of for me, and I'll just keep working towards fitting the criteria even better, and just keep chipping away at it and see kind of how far I can go. But yeah.
Absolutely. You're in the right place. Anyone that sees your physique will know that she's fucking needs to be. There's
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we tried figure, and like she responded really well. I mean, we tried off season and figure after she won her pro card, and things were moving really well. But then she just didn't feel her heart was in it. So I think the best thing was for her to switch back to wellness and stick with it. And it's obviously turned out pretty good, eh?
It's working out right way. Yeah, doing right. And what does training look like for you now, Jazz? What are you working on? Is it fucking glutes like every other chick in the world, or is it like other things? What are you working on?
So really, at the moment, it's just glutes. Like I'm training 4 times a week. I'm doing just a main focus on glutes. So for more density, more depth, and more upper glute roundness. That was really the only feedback that I got from Tyler. He said my leg size is where they want it to be for wellness. So he said literally all you need to do is just more glutes, which I feel like every wellness girl gets, because you can't have, you can never have big enough glutes in wellness. So I was really happy with that feedback. I still personally want a bit more leg size. So I'm still incorporating, obviously, movements in there and volume and intensity for growing just overall legs. And I've actually just started literally doing a little bit of upper body just because I want to. So not because I need to, but I'm just doing like literally 2 exercises for shoulders, 2 exercises for back, and that's it. But it's just enough for me to just have that mental kind of sweet, I've done upper body train, just to feel like I'm doing something there. So yeah, that's all we're kind of going to work on, is just mainly growing the glutes, but a little bit more leg size as well, just because I want bigger legs. Why not? That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Are you enjoying training glutes a bit, or is it like you fucking hate glute day? Like, come on.
Like I enjoy training glutes. I love training legs. Like overall, I'd say quads is definitely my favorite. Like I love going in and training quads, but no, I'm enjoying training glutes, especially knowing that is what I need to work on most. It's very kind of motivating in the gym to just give it my all. So yeah, no, I'm loving training at the moment. Yeah.
And what's your favorite glute exercise right now?
Hip thrust. It'd have to be hip thrust. Yeah, like I love a real controlled hip thrust with like a 1 to 2 second pause at the top and just going heavy, keeping it controlled. It's just, it's awesome.
It's the best. It works, clearly. I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
What about you, Dean? What are you working on at the moment?
Everything. Mainly like delts, arms. They're like real focus areas. And then everything else just kind of slowly ticking up, but they're just areas that I wanted to catch up to everything else, just to help balance the physique out a bit better.
Yeah.
And so it's going good. It's going good.
And what are you thinking about doing? You're going to do 2-1-2? You're going to do open? Have you undecided? Like, where is it going deep?
I think probably to be competitive in an open lineup, I need a few more kilos. So we'll just see how it goes next year. But pulling down into that 2-1-2 and hitting that weight cap starting to look pretty hard. I was 115 this morning in pretty decent off-season conditions. So a lot of people, you're open, go open, and I'm like, a few people are saying that now, but and I've stood next to the 212 guys, obviously at the Olympia. They were dieted down at the time, but from what I could see, I'm quite a bit bigger than a lot of them. So we'll see. Yeah. Open's always been the dream. Like ever since I started, that was always the dream: compete in open, be as big as an open pro. So if it eventuated, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. But
everyone's saying that to me, Dean. He's too big. He's getting not too big, but you're getting too big for 2-1-2.
For that,
keep going kind of thing, and just like, because who wants to pull down? Who wants to get smaller?
I don't want to lose muscle mass to reach 2-1-2. That's definitely not appealing to me. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
So you're not in a rush to compete, You're just waiting to see how next year turns out, kind of thing.
I'm hoping end of next year I can step on a stage. Yeah. I've got a couple of things to sort early next year, but I'm hoping for end of next year.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll only hear about it at the time, so that's all good. We'll be watching. We'll be really, I'll be watching anyway. But what are your thoughts on the Olympia winners? We're going to ask, So maybe Dean, we'll start with you. What do you think about Keone? What do you think about Samson? I know I've probably chatted a bit about it, but what do you think about those guys? Did they look the best on the stage from your opinion?
Yeah, like Keone, he just dominated basically. His shape, his size, like it wasn't touched. He wasn't close. Sean wasn't close to him. Yeah. So that was a really deserving win. And Samson brought it. Like, he's here. He's arrived. Like the backs come up, the conditions pretty much there. Like he brought a level of conditioning that we haven't seen on him before. So it's like a hardness. There's a hardness to him now that he hasn't delivered to the stage before, and obviously just more detail through the back.
Yeah.
So he owned it. Like, that was his. And I think from what I could see, Derek was pretty disappointed. When he walked out at prejudging, he was quite underwhelming. Like he looked like there was an issue with fullness and his quads were down, and he wasn't overly confident about the look. You could see that. And then Hardy came in, but from the front, he was razor sharp, dense as always, and then turned to the back. Heaps of muscle, but just not as hard as he used to be. So, and that was kind of the same with last year. Just, that finishing touch from the rear just wasn't there. And I think that I still don't think he would have bet Samson, to be honest, if it was there, just because Samson's just too big now. But he definitely could have been sharper. But I think Samson will hold it for a few more years yet.
Yeah.
And obviously Chris won, and that was kind of the way it played out. And I don't think anyone thought it was going to go a different way, to be honest. And then we'll see what happens in Classic next year. And Ryan Terry looked really sharp at prejudging. I saw him at prejudging. I didn't have finals, but he looked really good. And obviously, held on to that title. So that was good. So,
I think that one was the closest one out of the lot, was the men's physique. I think that one was a little bit.
Yeah, like he's not a real big guy. Like, honestly, like we're in the gym with him and he was training around us at Powerhouse, and he's not a big guy at all. He's super detailed and super polished. And he's obviously brought up the areas that they want him to improve on. So he's been rewarded for that as well. And just, it's a full, just polished look, and it's what they're after. So they give him the nod for the second year.
Yeah.
But there's some big boys in men's physique, some real big boys. Yeah.
Excited to see what happens with that division. But the UK boys are coming up. Samson, Ryan Terry, it's just Classic physique left, and 212, and then we'll have the whole kit. Who would you put your money on for Classic physique now that Chris is gone? If it was the same look as this year, who would you say would have the next? I mean, like we could go first.
Yeah, probably the guy Mike. I think that's coming up. Yeah, probably him. But we'll see. Maybe Wesley can turn it around, grow him some more legs, and bring up the lower body a bit more, and he might contest them. So I'd say. Yeah, Ramon's pretty good, and just, I don't think he's got the size there, and I think from memory he's quite at the top, like he's close to that cap, so he can't really grow much more. So I think between Mike and probably Wesley for next year.
How they go, eh? And what do you think about all these guys coached by their wives? Jazz, you're up next, babe. Like they are,
if it works, it works, eh? Like. Why not?
Who wants to listen to their missus all day and all through coaching as well? Like, how do you not? I don't know. It seems to work for them. And what about you, Jez? What do you think about the winners of, like, I guess Bikini? Like, there's a few randoms on there. Like, Fran got knocked out. I ain't happy about that. You know that. Not happy that Issa won, but it's okay. Fran's going to come back next year and just fuck everybody up. And Laura Lee, like, what do you think about those?
Yeah. Like, I think with the wellness, we were sitting there at finals, obviously, and we were shocked. And I think a lot of people in the crowd were shocked too, hearing Issa's name come out on top. It was just very hard for us to kind of justify that. And like even listening back to the feedback, really all that Fran lost on was just her side shots with how she's posing it, and her glutes were too big. Like, I don't think any one of us girls ever had that feedback. And from my opinion, like Fran has just got that structure, that frame that we're looking for in wellness, whereas Issa's very kind of narrow and petite, obviously dense, but like just, I don't know, she just doesn't have that wow factor for the top dog, if you get what I mean. So I wasn't happy about it, but I mean, it is what it is, and we'll see what kind of, if Issa can hold that title for a second year, or if Fran's going to come back and downsize her glutes or what she's going to do. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. And in bikini too, yeah, like that was definitely interesting. Being there for prejudging at the expo, it seemed like it was more of a bit of a name game and who's who in that top 5, because there were definitely girls outside of that top 5 and even top 10 that should have been in there that weren't. So I don't really follow along with bikini that much. But I suppose Laurelie was what they were looking for. I don't see her as the champ just based on structure and how she flows. She doesn't have these real kind of round popping, like round glutes. She's got big glutes, but just, yeah, I didn't see her kind of taking the win. I think there should have been a bit of a mix-up in that top 5 and top 10 with bringing some of those other girls through, but I think that's just bikini, though, right? I think bikini's a little bit all over the show, and it's pretty hard to say, to kind of figure out what they're actually looking for on that day. But yeah, I think it was cool because on Friday we got to see the women's bodybuilding, women's physique. We got to see too, figure, like we got to see all those girls at finals. But yeah, I'd say Sydney and figure, she was a standout. That is just mind blowing, her physique. Like,
your waist is about that big, you know.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Like, how is it even possible?
Just go like that.
Like, just crazy structure. So it was cool to kind of be there and experience that. And obviously she's retired now too, and just kind of feel the environment from when she was like announcing her retirement, and like it was an awesome Olympia to be competing in and also watching as well at finals. So yeah, no, it was cool. Yeah.
Easy. What a year for Olympia. I feel like it was just like a whole lot of random shit, retirements, crazy things happening, people were missing, like people whatever, you know, like lots of things were going on. I feel like next year is going to be even more wild. I feel like everyone's going to come back. Dory's going to come back and take it again. All chaos. But I'm excited for all of that. And Jazz, I've got to ask, do you know what you're going to do next year, or are you still under planning stages?
So we're just waiting for the calendar to come out. I definitely want to be back on that stage, but we're just waiting for the calendar to come out. But it'll just be in line with when Dean obviously competes as well. So we'll just work it in so we compete at the same shows, which will be really cool. Hopefully we both win, so we come away with the Olympia qualification at the shows, but we'll see. But yeah, so the intention is to get back on stage if my off season goes how I am planning it out to go. Which I'm sure it's going to. So yeah, in the next year, hopefully, and hopefully qualified for next year's Olympia. If not the following, we just got to work out if we want to kind of do shows before the Olympia or the shows after the Olympia to qualify for the following year. But we'll assess when the calendar comes out, which I am eagerly waiting for it to come out. It's like, come on.
Exciting. Well, I'm sure we'll all hear about it, and I know you'll announce it when the time is right and stuff for you guys, and there's never any pressure or like hurry up. Like, we're just excited, of course, hanging out for the next shows. We've only got Arnold now, and that's next year, and I've got nothing else to sad.
It's a quiet time.
It's a quiet time, but it's good because it's everybody's off season. Get on with it, and this is when people will either slip and fuck up or makes you get the shit done.
Exactly.
It's exciting. This is good for me. I better keep my shit together. So it'll be fun. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Hopefully you guys will come and watch or as many shows as you can in the next season for New Zealand IFBB. I'm sure you will have a big team, all of that kind of stuff. Keep us updated on your Instagram. Do you want to shout out your sponsors or shout out anyone else before we wrap it up today?
We'll just shout out to Strong, for being there for us this year. They've been a great help, supporting us in many ways in the journey. So it's been real cool. Thomas has been really good to work with over the last year, and all the other guys as well. And we've got some good plans moving forward for next year, and you'll see us popping up in all sorts of different places and doing all sorts of different things. And there'll be a presence at the shows as per normal. And so things are looking good. Nice. And Bombshell's not reached out yet, Jez? Not yet. I don't think they'll sponsor a wellness girl, but I'll try my luck. You've got Barbie Manu or Baby Manu, whatever her name is. I don't compete anymore though, anyways. And she was always one of the smaller wellness girls. So good physique. Oh well, dark sport will be the one. Then.
That'd be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah.
Any day now, any day that email will drop in your inbox. But it was so good to chat. Again, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it so much. You guys know I'm a big fangirl of you both. So I'm like, can I have an hour? So I'm so appreciate it. Everyone loves it too. Everyone's been asking. So everyone can be happy now. They've got all the answers they need. And then hopefully we'll get you on again next year. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, thank you for having us on. It was good to catch up, and yeah, we'll definitely do it again.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And just everyone listening, don't forget to follow these two, and the link is in the description of this pod, and you can follow their journey. If you haven't already, you should be already following them. And make sure that you like and subscribe and do all that stuff for the pod, because it always helps us get up there as well. And we'll obviously be covering whatever these two do next year, which is going to be fun. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
See you.